Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bad Fanfiction Night. I am your host, Raymond McNeil. Joining me is the entirety of the Tundra, but joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
We are
No pitch
today
to talk.
continuing our... Thank you for informing us. That was very important.
Sorry.
Yeah, guys, you don't need to inform us when something's happening, especially when we're live streaming.
I'm very invested in knowing about the cockroach that's crawling up your wall.
I'm just thinking out loud.
I'm glad to
Ladies and
hear the
gentlemen.
step-by-step of you get up out of your chair, walk over, grab a cup, put the cockroach in the cup, slide it down the wall, put a piece of paper underneath the cup, pick
And
it
then
up.
drink.
Hell no.
And then
Hell no.
drink
Take a
it.
fucking shoe to that motherfucker.
I
Don't
invited
scare
him.
it.
He's listening.
Take a goddamn shoe to that motherfucker.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to breathe. I hope you should know.
Okay. But yes, today we are continuing our read through of Connect the Stars, the fan-made continuation of Kiara Lee Phoenix's, what was the original called?
Hers was called
As
fuck.
oh,
I don't remember what. I mean, the first one was Through My Eyes.
Through My
I forget
Eyes.
what
That
the-
was it.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
second one was Across His Eyes. That was what she was gonna name her sequel. This is a fan fiction of a fan fiction.
Yeah. So okay, it's like several
Your
layers
name
for
is
those
so much better.
who aren't here. It is a fan fiction sequel, or is a fan fiction of a sequel to another fan fiction that never got finished. That's what we're doing. So far, Mupa, our beloved Mupa here, has done an excellent job of capturing the magic that makes Kiara Lee Phoenix's writing so enjoyable.
Yes.
What is happening? Do you really need to know what's happening? There's girl's been shrunken down to the size of a rat, and then later to an ant, and now she is given them bedroom eyes to flick from A Bug's Life, while her two godfathers, who are totally not into like totally things with Kiara, they're trying to track her down and save her. And they're all doing this because rats and ants can apparently access time travel technology.
Yep.
And
It's a gin.
Also, Basil and Radigan ended up going to the future with Futurama and freeing an entire species of hyper intelligent mice and rodents, just to like be humane, not realizing that they caused the end of several planets. Oh,
I mean, it wasn't their planet they ended.
true.
Right? It's only a planet. Like,
But they are they are
Bigger thing.
traumatized by that now, and they will never speak of this.
Yeah,
again, and
yeah.
that's
Think
great.
about it. That planet was named Nim 4, and the last one was called Nim 3. And had the exact same disaster. What do you think is gonna happen next?
Man,
the other
man,
planet was
property
called Nim.
property values in NIM 5 are going down.
Sure
On
are.
a planet Nymphet.
Oh, what's that other film about the mouse?
It was a reference to the rats of Nim.
That was it. All right. I was like, wait, isn't there a NIM film? All right.
Raymond, I'm disappointed in
Yeah,
you.
The Secret of Nim by Don Bluth. That was the movie.
But yeah, last time, our dear Kiara was injured in a grass fire and was rescued by a handsome, quote unquote, cicada named Katie.
Ooh la la.
Katie.
80 dead.
He's got a cool black carapace.
Yeah. And yeah,
But he's not a DILF.
No.
and that's why
true. He's
Kiara's not
Kiara's
into
age.
him.
I did show Raymond a couple of clips from the Lion King 2 movie now, so now he has some context.
Hey.
Yay! I will still probably be lost, and I will forget things. Yay! All right. Well, let's remember the rules. I and Twilight are the priority speakers, so we take precedence when we are speaking. We expect everyone else to quiet down when we're reading. Of course, if we like your comments, we like your jokes and jibes, but we just gotta keep it to a reasonable degree so we can keep a nice steady pace going. Considering that we can get through these chapters quite quickly, I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. Roughly an hour to an hour and a half, where's going to be our aim time. So everyone sit back, grab a nice, delightful beverage, relax, and enjoy. When the midnight oil is spent. Radigan and Basil both hunched over the table, pens moving ceaselessly across their respective notebooks. The rest of the surface was covered in more papers, books, crumpled notes, and discarded dishes. My computer is now just okay. No, my session on that medical form that I was filling out just timed out and it hijacked my screen.
No. Once
You're not
again,
live streaming your personal information, are you?
No.
He's not live streaming anything at all in the Discord.
Once again, the healthcare system ruins another life.
All right, I'll get back into that later. That is the first time that it's like I've timed out on a website and it's just like it opens my browser when I had it minimized. I'm like, wait,
Bro.
what? What? When has that ever happened? That's wild to me. All right.
They want you to know, man.
The temporal locator had been hooked up to an automatic printer, and its readings came out on an endless scroll of narrow paper. The clock on the wall ticked past 5 a.m. So about when I'm going to bed. Got it. With a hiss around the stem of his cigarette holder, Radigan tore the notebook page he'd been working on and tossed it aside. Haley stepped into the dim lamplight, rubbing her eye and wearing a green button-up pajamas. With her hair down, she looked very much like how Kiara did when Radigan and Basil first met her.
No. Stop.
You two really haven't stopped working since dinner, have you? She asked, half yawning through her words. Well, oh no, this is Basil, not wasn't it? Well, sorry if we disturbed you, Basil said and tapped out the ashes of his pipe into a nearby tray. I'm all right. I wasn't sleeping very well anyways. She leaned against the doorframe. Maybe it's about time you guys took a break, though. I can't imagine it's easy to do calculations when you're running on zero sweep.
Oh no, he's doing the voice again. We thought we were over this.
You're not getting rid of that voice.
Soon.
No, thank you. Basil turned back to his work. We've wasted enough time as it is. But it'll end up taking even longer if you exhaust yourselves, she murmured. She's right, Basil. Radigan checked the transcripts from the temporal locator. We could at least take it in shifts. Go rest your feather head. I'll continue from here. Basil packed fresh tobacco into his pipe with more force than necessary. Actually, I think you could use a sleep more, despite Rattus I've never read the scientific name for rat. Rattus norvegicus. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Magicus.
I don't know, man.
Magicus?
NordVPN?
Rattus NordVPN, being creatures of the night. There was a small tearing sound as Radigan dragged his pen across the paper. Haley's eyes widened, flicking between the two. He was smiling as he faced Basil. You're so thoughtful, but really, let's be honest with ourselves. We both know your mind isn't as tireless as my own, what with how often I've left you in the dust. Still trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Your brain simply can't keep up, it needs the rest. Picking up the debris, you mean not puzzle pieces. Picking up the debris, you mean, not puzzle pieces. His fingers struggled to get a match lit, the stick scraping fruitlessly against the side of the box. As I recall, your misplaced pride is what caused you more than a handful of your schemes to blow up in your face. Blow up in my face, did they? Radigan snarled. It was your obsessive tendencies which caused you to constantly lose the only things that mattered to you. I will not lose another child! Basil's fist came down on the table. Hey! Haley shouted, coming to the edge of the table between both of them. Her arms hovered, and she turned her head back and forth. The two men scowled at each other, nostrils flaring. Radigan smoothed back his hair. I suppose it was always too much to ask. Too much to ask that two men from opposing sides of society be civil towards each other. To forgive each other after a lifetime of rivalry and doing the other wrong. No, Basil said quietly. It would never be too late. Kiara taught me that. He straightened up. Forgiveness is a continuous process, not a single conversation or redeeming act. I expect we'll spend the rest of our lives forgiving each other, as well as matching wits and competing, even when we're both working towards the same goal. They held each other's gazes, both considering. Finally, they lunged forward in a passionate embrace. And no, wait, sorry, the different type of wrong tone.
God damn it!
Stop
Threaten me with a good
reading
time.
your fanfic, Raymond.
God damn it, man! I thought I was gonna have a good time.
I'm not my family. Apparently,
that
I'm reading
changed
I
your
Know
mind?
Nothings. Finally, Radigan gave a small nod. Perhaps we had better both take a short rest after all. Then some coffee when we're ready to return to work. Haley exhaled. I can set a timer on my phone. I'll wake you up when it goes off. The two shared another nod, then moved away from the table, both rolling their shoulders and putting away their smokes. Alrighty, next chapter.
They just put away the puff of cloud.
It opened in Calibre, so it's weird for me.
That's fun.
We're almost halfway done.
Oh, neat.
Whoa, living on a pot. Wait.
No,
Oh.
excuse me. Burgeoning. Are you sure you can carry that? Kiara smiled at the ant as she tucked the bundle of brown grass under her arm. Yep. This is nothing. She had recovered quickly from her burns, and after being given a pair of supple grass boots, she had been reassigned once again. She now worked above ground as part of the reconstruction team, cleaning up the scorched patch and helping with the collapsed pit before the anthill. Teams of ants cut down the burnt stalks, then cut them into even smaller, more manageable pieces. The burnt foliage, while unsuitable for food or most crafts, was taken to the site of the tunnels being rebuilt, where they could be mixed with the silt and dirt and used to refortify the walls and ceilings. Kiara hummed to herself, walking in the sunlight. Always in a chipper mood, aren't you? Her smile sagged as Katie trotted beside her. What now, bug breath? I was just thinking, Human Eyes, that our lunch break will be coming up soon. He shifted his own bundles under his arms. Maybe you and I could sit together during it?
Humanize?
It's a very weak insult because he doesn't know how to actually insult her.
Yep.
She groaned loud enough to make several bugs look her way. How many times do I have to tell you I'm not interested? Maybe if I keep asking, you'll change your mind.
Ah,
She
buddy,
rolled.
you need a 9 to 5 at the very least and a stable household income. Come on.
She rolled her eyes behind her glasses, then paused for a moment. Just a couple levels down was Flick, talking with the engineers and gesturing at some blueprints he held. Her expression brightened again as she waved and called, "Hey, Flick!" She skipped down the scaffolding that had been erected during the construction and stopped before him. It's been a while since we last talked. How's the inventing going? Katie remained where he was at ground level, staring after them. Kiara's soft gaze behind her glasses as she looked up at Flick, 1 foot drawing circles on the ground with her toes. He huffed and shook his head, marching on with his bundles.
Oh wow, she's doing the toe thing. That's
Yep.
Okay.
Kiara, come on.
She's being very obvious.
Honey, most people like obliviousness when it isn't as subtle as a bag of bricks.
Also,
What?
this is a married
A bag
ant.
of what?
A bag of bricks is what I was trying to say, but bricks still coming.
Like imagine
I'll
like,
try.
it's a
Keep
bag
trying,
of
you'll get
bills.
there.
I'll speak English eventually.
It's
okay?
a bag filled with brisk iced tea. Like that's what I'm expecting right now.
Honestly, I'll take that bag. Give me that. Actually.
Yeah, that sounds really good right now.
Da, da, da.
Did you lose your space?
Yeah, for some reason, somehow.
You're at the page break. It's right at that
It's
bit.
not a page break for me.
Oh no, yeah, it's like the bar, the horizontal bar.
It
the
doesn't
void.
exist.
It doesn't.
Oh, because Cal.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're at for lunch the ants.
Yeah. For lunch, the ants prepared makeshift communal tables for all the workers to sit at. A feast of seeds, berries, and droplets of water lay atop them. Kiara found an empty seat and worked on breaking her piece of berry and seed into bite-sized crumbs. Well, hello there, Kiara. She looked up at Slim and Heinrich, approaching. Can't blame you for sitting by yourself, Slim said. You know how ants are with picnics. Kiara laughed. I'm not by myself on purpose. You can sit with me. Danke. The two sat beside her, Heinrich already gathering a large portion of food onto his own plate. It's not a vacation to Ant Island without at least one feast to go along with the mayhem, Slim commented. Yeah, it's just one thing after another. Kiara took a bite of berry and wiped her mouth with her arm. I heard you guys would be moving on soon? Soon, Slim nodded. Vacations don't last forever, after all. Eventually we have to hit the road and get back to work. Her eyes cast downward. It's too bad, really. It'd be nice if you could stay longer, wouldn't it? Oh, look at that berry, Heinrich said suddenly. With a grunt of effort, the disproportionately small wings on his back started flapping.
I kind of got the tone that that you kind of wanted to go for there, but like the way you read that Twy was like, it's like the guy's like, "Ooh, look at that berry!" Like, oh, what? What? You
Ooh,
checking
that
someone out?
berry. That berry.
As opposed to, "Oh, look at that berry."
What a scrumptious little berry we have here.
Oh, okay, Moopa somehow made it worse.
Worse?
Intentionally, of course.
Yeah, he's food sexual.
I mean, fair, I
If you've
guess.
seen the movie, you'll know.
Kiara laughed again. Heinrich, I hate to burst your bubble, but you'll never fly like that. Just walk. Ugh.
Oh,
He lifted up into the air and slowly crossed the distance to the food he sought. Kiara stared after him, her mouth hanging open. Slim leaned down near her shoulder. It's not all so bad, leaving certain things behind. Otherwise, nothing new ever happens. She closed her mouth. I guess so.
Slim's just like, I'm telling you, give up on your daddy kink. Look, there's a perfectly good young cicada over there.
Funny you say that. This whole next arc of chapters is going to be a conversation.
Oh, God! Oh, no!
yes. We're all here for it.
Also, I love how it's like, oh, yeah, no, the caterpillar come butterfly, flying on teeny tiny wings now. That's the surprising part. Not the fact that ants are seriously considering building time travel technology with sticks and twigs. That's just that's really normal.
If rats could do it, ants can do it. Am I right?
Yes.
No.
Come on.
It's probably.
Yes.
Next chapter, The Pattern. Of course, you're no stranger to mayhem and new experiences yourself, the way I hear it, Slim said. Flick told me all about you, the things you shared with him, about how this isn't the first time you've been shrunk down from human size or traveled through time. Kiara nodded. Although the first time it happened, I was a lot more panicked about the whole thing. I mean, not that I'm not worried about Chippendale, but I feel like I'm at least able to tread water this time. Chippendale, he's from that first big adventure you had, when you were shrunk to the size of a mouse. Now available on DVD in stores everywhere.
Not Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Only in the adult section, though.
only in the adult section.
Recap.
You got a good advertising voice.
You know why.
Yeah, he used to be Radigan's crony for hire, but now he's got it out for me. I guess because I convinced Radigan to switch sides and he lost his employer and reputation and all in one go. It's like, Slim is just like, yeah, that'd do it. Yeah. Used to work for Radigan? His brow lifted high. But I meant to say, didn't I hear that those rodents you befriended became your adoptive godfathers? I know that's a lot of information that I couldn't have possibly absorbed in the last few days, but I'm going to ask about it anyway. Yeah, Radigan and Basil both. Radigan used to be a criminal, and Basil is a detective who spent a long time trying to arrest Radigan. It's sort of a wild story, but Radigan was the one who invented the time machine after surviving his fall from Big Ben. It sounds kind of crazy when you say it out loud. While he was traveling around the different eras, he came upon my era, where the story of him and Basil had been made into a movie. He overheard me call him my favorite once, and he kind of mistook that for me as having a crush on him. So then he started crushing really hard on me in return.
Ew.
This is a lot of take in.
And then what happened? Slim had turned to her, antenna perked. I'm just turned to her with full attention, antenna perked. Like, are you intrigued by that?
I
I
honestly,
mean, it's a wild story.
at this point, I think it's just one of those like anime episodes where the studio doesn't have a lot of money, so they just do a low effort recap of the series, so they don't have to spend as much money on the animation budget.
Oh, that's yeah.
We got flipped.
He
Leading
spirited
somewhere, all right? I'm leading somewhere.
He spirited me away to his timeline in the dead of night. She laughed at Slim's expression. Don't worry, it all turned out okay. He didn't actually do anything to me. In the end, it all got cleared up, and he isn't in love with me anymore, especially since Basil is my favorite from that movie, too. So, rather than marrying you, he contented himself with being your godfather. Yeah, I mean, they're too old to be my boyfriends anyway, so it made more sense for them to be my godfathers.
Oh God, please stop with that shit.
Oh.
What?
This is actually what
I will
happened
leave-
in the original fanfic, people.
It really
I
happened.
know.
I
know.
Well, I'm telling the people that may not have been here for this, we were not lying. This has
Well, then-
actually happened.
Well, then all the more reason that this fanfic is having a recap for the people who weren't there.
Exactly.
Fantastic writing. I can't believe I thought it any different.
There was something in Slim's expression that Kiara couldn't interpret, but it passed. So that was your first adventure. Did you ever visit any other times that you initially saw as a movie? Met more favorites? How do I know what a movie is? I don't know. Nah, I never visited any other eras before this one. And honestly, thank God for that. My feelings for Radigan were platonic, but that definitely wasn't the case for other people who were my favorites from other movies and TV shows. She picked at the skin on a slice of seed. A lot of them were also the unsavory type, the types who probably would have taken my interest as permission to do more than they should, to take advantage of me. Okay, gotta call you out. I do not think Kiara would be this self-aware.
No.
I know, but I'm doing my thing, all right? I'm doing my thing.
All right, you're leading somewhere.
I'm
You're going
doing a
somewhere.
character arc.
Also, one flaw in a masterpiece does not diminish the masterpiece.
Exactly.
Fair. Who are these other characters that you're so fond of? What are they like? She counted them off on her fingers. Let's see, there's Thrax from Osmosis Jones, Jack O'Lantern from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. He's probably my most favorite, even compared to other characters. Pitch from Rise of Guardians. I had a Clockwork Orange phase at one point too, but let's not talk about that. She turned away slightly as her cheeks flushed. Guys, I gotta reiterate, this is true. Kiara actually has these faves.
I
Yep.
went through her DeviantArt extensively.
She was into the good old ultra violence.
Oh boy.
She
Oh
turned,
my God.
she turned away slightly as her cheeks flushed. I know they're all villains in their stories, but I can't help but feel for them. A lot of them have such sad tales, or they want such simple things, simple, relatable things. Like fucking Thrax, who just wanted to cause a fever?
I was gonna say, wasn't his entire thing just waking up and wanting violence?
Literally, that was his entire character trait.
You wouldn't believe some of the fucking fanfic comics I've read on DeviantArt that give Thrax a backstory.
No.
Why give him a backstory?
What was he doing in that monkey?
He was a fucking egg. He was on an egg eaten by a monkey.
You wouldn't believe it.
You seem to be very caring, he said kindly. Say, these favorites of yours, they wouldn't happen to all be older men, would they? Yeah, some of them are immortals who have been alive for thousands of years. Don't worry, it's okay because they're immortals who have been alive for thousands of years.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry, officer.
Actually,
this young girl is clearly a 3,000-year-old vampire.
I was gonna say she's kind of the inverse of the loli joke. Now that I think about it, she's like the exact inverse. That's hilarious.
No, this is
You know what this feels like?
This is OG-san joke.
Ooh boy.
This is a Freudian case. Like she's just sitting down with Sigmund Freud and just basically explaining her old issues.
Oh, but no, we determined after we finished reading her story that she was, if not into her dad, then into people like her dad.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
We will be discussing that forthwith.
Oh God!
Oh boy.
I love the hints that you have taken the bull by the horns on this. That is exciting and terrifying.
Looking at the fanfic, did I miss it?
We're still reading. We're still reading.
You need to come at 7 o'clock sharp.
All right, I'm unloading a pound of ammo, so I'm going to be in and out.
So, okay.
He leaned back and cupped his hands under his mouth, nodding. Yes, I think I'm starting to get it now. I'm developing a hypothesis. Kiara narrowed her eyes. What do you mean? And then she blinks at him multiple times, completely innocently, not realizing what the fuck is about to hit her like a brick.
When a guy looks at you and says, "Honey, you gotta type."
You gotta type and it ain't good.
Nope.
It's not healthy.
All right. House of Cards.
Oh
Say.
no! Kevin Spacey!
Oh boy, no!
Oh God, I didn't even realize.
Wait, we're dealing with Machiavelli here.
So is that saying just been completely tainted by that man now?
If for a good long while it's going to be. I don't know
I'm
when
pretty sure,
it's
yeah.
gonna be separated.
I honestly
Because I completely forgot that you told me that he was in a TV show called that. Till you reminded me.
Yeah, me too.
Dominoes will fall like a house of cards.
Say,
Checkmate.
I bet you're missing home terribly, Slim said. Your dad, perchance? I do. Kiara sighed heavily. Even though things were complicated when I got taken, I really want to see him again. Him, Mom, Haley, all of them. What's your dad like anyways? What sort of person is he? Kiara beamed. He's the best! He's the coolest dad ever and would do anything to protect me. He rides a motorcycle and takes me on rides with him, and he likes my drawings, and he even role-plays my stories with me when I write them. It's awesome.
All real and true facts. Mine from her DeviantArt.
Oh, really?
What the fuck?
See, acting out a story is different than role playing it.
She described it role playing.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Very
All
well
right.
choice of
I
words.
completely forgot
Okay,
about the
hold on,
role
I'm back
playing
into
part. Oh.
I'm not here to judge.
I am.
I'll judge.
I'll be execution.
A motorcycle? Well, I suppose those thundering monstrosities must be less frightening when you're the correct size for them. Family dinners must be pretty exciting with a dad like that around. Oh, he actually doesn't usually eat with us, he shrugged. He's busy with work a lot, and when he is not working, he needs to unwind by riding around town or doing one of his other hobbies. I don't see him at the house a lot. We mostly spend time together when he invites me to go riding with him on weekends, or when he has the day off. I'm starting to see why she has daddy issues.
Yeah.
Now we have to realize this gets a bit complicated because I don't know everything about Kiara. Some of this is mined from her DeviantArt, some of this is pulled from my own experiences. So it's about to get really weird and wibbly wobbly.
I mean,
Fair
it's
enough.
fair. It's fair to have made
Yeah,
extrapolation.
anyway.
He never sits around and relaxes at the house. Of course he does. But really, it's kind of better for him that he doesn't. Mom's always nagging him for leaving dirty dishes or beer cans scattered around. Can't blame him for wanting to head out. Slim leaned on his elbow and he peered at her. So the only quality time you two spend together is when you're riding on the back of his motorcycle? Pretty much. Sometimes we'll hit up some restaurant he wants to try, but yeah. She rested back onto her hands, stretching her legs under the table. It's always been like that, with him being super busy, even back when me and Haley were really small. That's just the way things are. He sounds a little more like an uncle than a dad, he said slowly. I'm guessing he...
What kind of uncle? Be specific.
Don't take that.
Please. Oh no. Oh no.
Uncle Diddles.
Hell no. No.
You don't have to say it. Look, that's the joke. You don't actually say it out loud. You just imply it and let people draw their own conclusions, and so it's on them and they laugh out of awkwardness. Like that's how the game works. You don't say it out loud because then it makes you look like the weirdo.
And now I've lost the game.
God damn it, I know nothing. I lost the game.
Bro, since fucking high school, man, we've been losing the game.
I haven't lost the game in so long. Damn it.
What game we were playing?
The one you just lost. Anyway.
Yep. I'm guessing he doesn't help very much with the housework. Why would he? That's Mom's job. And it's mine and Haley's job to help Mom. Well, it's very commendable for her to be a stay-at-home. Oh, she's not. She has a job too. She just doesn't make as much money as Dad does. Kara folded her arms on the table, glaring at nothing. Maybe if she was a stay-at-home mom, she wouldn't be so stressed, and then she wouldn't nag at Dad so much. I bet that's the reason why they're breaking up. It's all her fault. If she just leave him alone and let him relax the way that he needs to, then he wouldn't be so miserable. I can't keep up. I can't keep that up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is
So much emotion.
By the way, super chat from Lance Corporal Anime Guy. Bring back the kink shaming to stop degeneracy. Here.
Yes!
Unless kink shaming is your kink.
In which case, you're not allowed to kink shame.
But if not, preach, gang.
That's what he said to me over the phone, the last conversation we had before I was taken here. She could almost imagine herself back, the joy of her high school graduation, spoiled before it began, the warmth of her phone against her cheek and the only part of her that didn't feel cold. He said he couldn't do it anymore, couldn't keep making himself miserable, playing house with her. If it wasn't for that, we could have all remained together as one happy family.
God, this conversation.
Reminder, hurt and comfort.
It's a hurt comfort fic. We're in the hurt part.
Yeah. I just love the fact that she doesn't see her mother as a human being. Woo.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's,
no.
that's the
Family
part where
issues.
I'm just bullshitting all the way, where I just
Well, you
imagine
see-
that that's probably the way Kiara is, especially
Well, you-
after reading the new comics that Twilight helped me find on her other Tumblr and Twitter.
Oh, you
Thank
read
you
them?
so much for that. Absolutely,
welcome.
they were mind-opening.
Well, you have to
She-
remember.
You'll
You have to
have
remember
This
Twilight.
lady-
You'll have to
I'm
elaborate
sorry,
on
this
those.
Kiara
I'm
sounds like a
intrigued.
female Christian.
Oh,
Say, so
I
the
I
Tumblr
did
comic.
I did a whole deep dive and managed to find her.
Yeah.
Damn.
So the Tumblr comic, it's think like sort of Pirates in the Caribbean type of vibe. There's no Pirates of the Caribbean characters, it's just pirate stuff. Pretty normal, sort of kind of a period piece. Kiara and her friend doing their things. They got bitchy moms, but super cool dads, whatever. Stan and Ford Pines from Gravity Falls are there. They're just
honey.
there as the love interests, and they kidnap them both. They're pirates, and they're kind of mean and bad, but also they're supposed to be better than the moms.
I suddenly find that I don't like pirates as much after hearing this.
Okay,
It's a
basically,
trip. Her
Mupa, you-
current project now, though, that she links on her Twitter is a comic on Tapastic, and it is major. Imagine 1920s setting that's clearly heavily inspired by the Lackadaisy pilot, but hell of a boss.
that
Huh.
was certainly a lot
Huh.
of things in a sentence.
You know,
Wow.
seeing
And-
that she had made like an original comic thing, I thought that she had like grown past all of this stuff, but you're telling me that it's kind of mostly just the same?
Kind of. It's like it's major Lackadaisy, hell of a boss, and also what's that AU called for Undertale but Mafia vibes as well? Mafia Tale.
What?
That
You
specific
would have to
sub
ask
niche
Gary,
of
he knows about that
fucking
stuff.
I'll have to
Undertale
Google
stuff.
it.
Underfell.
I do
That's
wanna
right.
say-
Underfell. Mafia fell. That's what it is.
Before we
Oh.
spin off on this, I want to say, because we have located her. No one seek her out. No one
No,
bother
don't
her.
talk to her. Don't talk to her.
talk to her.
Don't fucking let her know that we know about her. Especially don't give away my cover.
I myself have considered at some point reaching out to like talk to her, but like I even now I'm like that's a very very tentative thing, and that has to be handled very delicately with the nature of what we do here with Bad Fan Fiction Night.
Yeah.
Don't bother her, especially just do not harass her in any way, shape, or form. That includes
Yeah,
just
no,
contacting
seriously.
her out of the blue.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You
With-
never know how someone's going to take that sort of thing.
With anyone that we look at that is technically findable, whether it be an author to a book that we read or somebody who wrote a fanfic like 12 years ago who is still active and you can technically find them, treat them like an animal at the zoo. You look but don't touch.
Yeah.
We're very clearly
Don't
specific.
breach the
Not a
containment,
petting
you'll
zoo.
ruin it.
Not a petting zoo, a regular zoo. Just being very
Yes.
clear on that before anyone tries to rules lawyer us. All right.
I mean, who knows? We might
If
one
you
day
fall
find
in the gorilla
here.
exhibit, all right, you're both being put down.
She also made a pretty cool animatic of the characters from her current webcomic. Using a
Heyo.
song from Heathers. It's the one you
Yeah.
expect.
Wait, Heathers?
What?
song?
The musical Heathers. She used the song that you expect, the one where it's like fucking I immediately forgot the name of the song.
Another
Dead
super
Girl
chat.
Candy store?
Another super
Oh
chat
yeah.
here.
It can't be Dead Girl Walking. It's the one right before that.
Another super chat here. Lance Corporal
um,
Anime Guy says King shaming
oh,
is
I
not
know.
my kink.
Big
It is
Time?
Dreadnought.
Shush, shush, shush. He's reading
King
out
shaming
super
is
chat.
not my kink. It's a necessary evil to stop stuff like this from being made. Dear God, Sweet Home Alabama, much author of these bad stories. Admittedly, reminding this is a Mupa having fun with this idea. So just keep in mind that this is not supposed to be taken super seriously. We're having just a good time with it. Though I did want to ask this because basically, Mupa, you took a stab in the dark that she did not like her mother, right? That was not.
I took a stab in the dark, and I fucking nailed it when I read her pirate comic.
That's
'cause
what I was gonna
man, is
say.
she uncharitable to her mom in that comic.
Oof.
That is interesting. I find that fascinating when you are correct in your supposition about someone.
Something I was wrong about though. Lately, the way she writes her self-insert, she used to write her self-insert as kind of a tough, kind of a little bit of spunky, tomboyish girl that could take care of herself. Nowadays, when she writes her self-insert, she writes herself as such a crybaby and that her love interests get mad at her for crying all the time. And it's
Oh.
really disheartening to see that she's just
Uh,
empowered herself
Oh,
that way.
I wonder what her
uh,
therapist would say if we gave her if we gave them her fanfics.
Oh, nothing good.
uh,
I imagine.
ooh.
that hurts honestly to think about.
Yeah,
Actually,
guys, like
Yeah.
legitimately, that is I was like, oh, maybe she's like toned it down. She's become more demure or something like that. Maybe she's kind of shifted from being like, I need to be sassy and girl boss all the time to like something a little more like confidently like calm and like rational, or I don't know, something like a shifting personality. But that just sounds like strictly I have been abused and I feel like I deserve it territory, and that concerns me
Yeah.
very greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My running hypothesis is that she's dealing with a lot of anxieties at living independently now, because I think she's not living with her dad anymore, and she's really not dealing with it very well.
Oh.
I see.
That's my hypothesis. I don't really have a whole lot of evidence to base it on, but that's my guess right now.
Well, this
Right.
got real pretty fast.
All right, well let's
Well,
get
let's
back to
continue.
the unreal.
Go back to the silliness,
And-
which isn't
and-
actually very silly because Kiara's having an arc.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're having a heart to heart here where Kiara is having a come to God moment. Request.
Oh no. Anyways.
Slim was quiet for a long moment. I hope this doesn't offend you, but your father sounds like an ass. Kiara's head snapped up, blinking behind her glasses. What? Of course, you know him better than I do, but from everything you've described, well, how can I put this? He pressed his hands flat together, gesturing with them. Plain house is a very interesting choice of phrase. Plain house doesn't just refer to the wife, but to the children as well. It's a game small ones play to understand family dynamics, but your father is an adult, and his family isn't some pretend game. To refer to it like that, like a game he can stop playing when he wants, is a bit distasteful. I should know. I'm a bug. We're all about family dynamics.
Huh?
Well,
I don't think a hive mind is a
say-
family.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Technically,
Not here to
Yeah,
judge.
that's-
Not here to judge.
It was just a turn of
That's what I think
phrase. He didn't mean it like that. It got me thinking. Have you ever wondered why it is that your crushes all tend to be older men? And not just older men, but men with authority, it sounds like? Men who would probably be very capable of protecting you if it came down to it. So, every girl wants to feel protected by her boyfriend. Her face flushed. I just can't help but think how significant it must have been when you actually met two of these objects for your affection. You managed to convince them both to adopt you as their goddaughter. You're getting at something. Spit it out. The stickbug hesitated before voicing his thoughts. It's clear that you admire your dad greatly, but you don't see him very often, and he sounds a bit distant. Don't you think it's possible that deep down you realize your father isn't as good as a man he could be, and that's why you end up seeking the attention of older men who could pose as a father figure? Go to hell! She shoved herself away from the table and stomped into the grass.
Rare Kiara cussing.
I was going to say, like, oh my god. She's broken one of the 10 Commandments.
Wow.
Which one? I don't know.
I came here for a weird bug fanfic, and I wound up with Dr. Phil.
That's how it is.
Katie had
Shit.
hidden behind a tall grass stalk, eating by himself and listening to Kiara and the circus clown's conversation. When Kiara shouted and stalked right past his hiding spot, he jumped a little. He gulped what was left of his lunch and scrambled to follow. He ranted under his breath as she trudged, half-formed curses and incoherent scenarios. He waited until they had gone deep into the grass before opening his mouth. Hey, she whirled, eyes flashing, and he recoiled a little before recovering himself. Are you all right? Buzz off, bug breath. I guess you are. He scratched at his shoulder. Listen, you really seem like you could use a break. You've been working too hard, and you only just got out of the hospital. I'm not asking you to hang out with me, but maybe you should take a walk around the island, be an explorer a little, take your mind off things. She turned sideways from him, arms folded and still breathing heavily. And anyway, I'll leave you alone now. He started to walk away. That tree. Huh? She pointed at the tree that sheltered all of Ant Island. Can you climb that tree? He glanced between it and her. Yeah, easily. I'm not a bug, so it's not easy for me. Take me up to that tree. Take me up that tree. It took another moment for him to process her request. Then he smiled. Sure.
I hate your voice.
You told
for
me
him.
you would forget Eva's voice the next time we read.
I said I would probably forget. I remembered
no
at
promises.
the 11th hour, it was coming up on Katie's voice, and I'm like, oh God, I remember I did a very specific voice for Katie. What was it? It wasn't my Stitch/Cactar voice. No, I would have remembered that because I used that for very specific characters. But no, I did something else. I did something awful. I did Beavis and Butthead. Also, Lance Corporal, Fat Man Falling, I'm not here to judge me. You aren't, but I am.
Also, this is what it looks like when we get to a new chapter. It's very, very subtle.
Of course.
Yep.
That's rough.
Yep.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh,
All right. Green Sea. Still okay back there? Katie asked. I'm all right, Kiara answered. She rode piggyback on Katie while he climbed, two of his arms supporting her while the other two reached for handholds. It's so windy. This is terrifying. You get used to it. It seemed miles to the ground, where the cleanup and reconstruction efforts were still in full swing. We left without really saying anything. Do you think they'll be mad? They know we're still on the island. He waved at a guard standing watch in the tree's hollow. Might get lectured later, but I doubt they'll be too mad. They continued climbing until they reached the first juncture where the trunk split into a bough. Once the surface leveled enough to stand, Katie let Kiara down from his back. She walked up the incline of the branch, gaze lost in the sea of leaves overhead. It's the same feeling as when you climb a tree as a kid, she said softly. When it seems so big that the ground below is like a different world, and you couldn't possibly fall to anywhere except the world of branches you're in. Feeling philosophical? She bent and broke off a piece of bark with her hand. No. She suddenly turned and flung it at him. Just making you drop your guard. Hey. He flinched, the bark bouncing off his arm as Kiara dashed away. So that's how you want it, huh? He picked up his own bark and chased after her, pitching it. They ran along the branch, chasing each other in circles as they threw bits and pieces of tree that they could break off in their hands.
Bark ball fight.
As they reached the end of the branch where it broke off into stems, Kiara sat against the leaf and laughed. Katie leaned against the stem across from her, catching his breath. Thanks for taking me up here. You were right, I did need a break. Anytime, I aim to please. Hey, you're a cicada, right? She leaned forward, eyes expectant. Can you sing for me? He shifted away. No, I'm terrible at it. Come on, you can't be that bad. I am, trust me. No one wants to hear me sing. His eyes cast away as he passed his hand along the edge of the leaf above him. Kiara hummed to herself. That's too bad. I've always loved the sound of cicadas singing. They sound so beautiful. Dusk or dawn, when the world is at its darkest. It's like their singing is a song of hope about the light to come once the darkness passes. Katie's eyes widened as they flicked to her, then danced for anywhere to look besides her earnest face, the heat raising in his own. He cleared his throat.
That was some Kingdom Hearts-esque dialogue right there.
This will be relevant later in the story.
That's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
Come on, I'll show you how to leaf surf.
I was gonna I had a comment at some point.
Yeah, no, you don't want to hear a cicada sing.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I imagine it's just like screaming like right up
Yeah.
close.
I
Or
live in the
blood
South.
curdling scream.
Actually, the irony would be like to human ears, his voice actually sounds really melodic and beautiful, but then
Yeah.
like an actual cicada just sounds just like the proper way sounds horrible to human ears. Be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sounds like
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
she's bug sized, so he's gonna sound amazing.
he sounds like fucking Michael Bublé.
Like fall. Oh God, Moopa, why?
What? What?
Like shooting stars.
What? Wait,
Don't even worry about it.
what did
What
Moopa
did you
do?
do?
This is what it sounds like when Moopa chooses violence.
You see, Moopa realizes that emotional damage hurts far more than physical.
What am I looking at here?
Also, can I just mention that a cicada's like singing organ is actually in the abdomen? So singing, quote unquote, would actually be a cicada twerking really hard.
From the
Oh,
diaphragm, man, from the diaphragm.
Wait,
Oh.
what did Moopa post? I can't find it.
I put it in the chat. Don't worry. You'll understand.
Kiara and Katie laid side.
Oh no!
I could use a wish right now. Wish right now.
Oh my god. I just saw that. For some reason it came in late for me.
Kiara and Katie laid side by side on the open petals of a flower. Above them, the evening sky, black salted with stars. They both had their arms folded behind their heads as pillows while they gazed. I can't even remember the last time I had this much fun, Kiara said. Just goofing around all day, not a care in the world. Me neither, Katie said, a note of
Stop,
surprise
you're
in
gonna
his
ruin
voice.
it.
That's the fun! That's the fun!
Stop.
No, keep going, keep going.
A shooting star arced across the sky, only visible for an instant. It disappeared again amongst the countless constellations, the opaque band of the galaxy draped across the sky. More stars than Kiara had ever seen from her own home. Her face took on a care. And she pushed herself upright.
Huh?
Weird archaic phrasing because I read a lot of old books.
I see.
Ah.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
What does that mean? A care taking.
It means that she started looking a little worried and sad.
Ah.
The more you know.
I know nothing in I same wavelength. It's great.
Read old books.
It's at this point.
I wonder if my parents are worried about me, or if they're too busy fighting to even notice. I don't know. I know my mom and her new boyfriend aren't worried about me at all. He spat. Not that's anything new. Her old boyfriend never gave a crap about me either. But he was still the closest thing I had to a father I ever had. What happened to her old boyfriend?
Who?
He died. His face never changed, gaze still locked on the stars. I'm sorry. He shrugged. It's whatever. He wasn't great, but he was a natural leader. Everyone listened to him, and he had tons of charisma and confidence. His voice became softer. I could never measure up, and he made sure I knew that. Kiara drew her knees closer to herself. I'm not sure what to think about my dad anymore. I know he loves me, but gosh, he really was almost never there. Her chin fell. I was lying to Slim earlier. I didn't tell him everything. I have other memories of my dad besides just motorcycle rides or eating at new restaurants. Memories like him telling me what movies I could or couldn't watch, what books I could or couldn't read, where and when I could see my friends. I only ever role-played the stories I felt were safe to role-play with him, showed him the drawings I knew he would approve of. Everything else I hid. I would go to the library and use their computers to draw and write, just to make sure my family couldn't judge me or get in the way. Truth barometer on that, Moopa? How much of this accurate?
It's 75% because the going to the library to use their computers to make her stuff is a thing I pulled from like her DeviantArt with comics chronicling her self-insert. But other stuff I extrapolated and theorized on.
Gotcha. This is the AI art of writing. Got it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, also, we do know that her parents didn't approve of a lot of what she did.
Yeah, we do know that.
Yeah.
Like, fanfics and stuff.
But the way this is worded makes it focus much more on him as opposed to just him, to both parents, which...
Yeah, but she doesn't care about her mom, remember?
Fair.
Remember, it's mankind, not womankind.
Also, I'm convinced that her mom was not a problem.
Oh, okay. Her eyes misted behind her glasses. He called it playing house to be my dad. Said he was tired of making himself miserable. I can't stand the idea that maybe all this time he was just humoring me. That maybe all this time he never really cared the way a dad should. I hate that I have so few good memories with him, but most of all, I hate how I think I actually like it that way. The fact that he isn't there most of the time, and I'm left alone. But then why does it still hurt to think of how distant we are? Katie sat up beside her, and she took a shuddering breath. And now that distance is only going to grow. Her voice broke, and she pressed her hand to her eyes, tears matching her words in overflow. I never wanted to be a part of the statistic. As long as we weren't part of the statistic, then everything was still okay. We were still one family, and he was still in my life as my dad. But now it's broken. Everything I've done, every attempt I've made at making families, they're all just sad little games I've been playing. It's over and all over now.
Damn. Really hit us with the Jover.
I couldn't resist.
It's all over now.
I gotta hit the thing.
Katie wrapped all four of his arms around her shaking shoulders, and she leaned into his embrace, muffling her sobs in his chest. It's new super chat from Sky Slasher. Can't stay. Can I advertise something real fast? You can put it in chat, but I might shoot it out. Depends what it is. But maybe. It's a very strong maybe.
I, for one, am just trying my hardest not to laugh too hard at Lightning's meme of the lore accuracy of this book.
Yeah, that's how it was. That's how it was going through her shit.
My man found the ancient poneglyphs.
Oh.
Alrighty.
USS Arizona can't save us now.
Unknown eyes. The pair walked slowly, shoulders jostling now and again. Neither Katie nor Kiara spoke a word, the night all but spent. They approached the anthill, and a single lantern and a couple of ants stood waiting for them. Queen Ada and Flick. I was hoping I wouldn't have to place a curfew on you two, Queen Ada said as they drew near. But perhaps I should. Do I even need to say how irresponsible it is to play hooky? No, you don't, Kiara said with a yawn. Said around a yawn. We're sorry, it won't happen again. Ada sighed, shaking her head before taking Kiara by the shoulder. Come on, let's get you to bed. You've got a long day ahead of you. Kiara nodded and shuffled with the queen, the two climbing the rest of the way up the hill to the entrance. Katie moved to follow, then paused to look at a look from Flick. What? I wanted to thank you, Flick said. For being so kind to Kiara, I mean. She's been having a rough time, and I think she really needs somebody her own age to relate to. Thank you for being there for her. Katie's eyes darted around, and he shifted from one foot to the other. I really didn't do anything. It was nothing. Not nothing, just enough. Flick smiled, and nodded his head to the top of the anthill. Come on, you need sleep too.
Thank you for taking away the thirstiest girl I have ever met from me, because it's making me very uncomfortable with me and my wife.
That's what she should have actually said.
No, Kiara will collect them all eventually.
Like Pokemon cards.
Kiara's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
What's that one scene from Gravity Falls? She like gets pictures of all the different people. It's like, finally, after all these years, I have them all.
The grasshopper
Also,
watched through the... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. The grasshopper watched through his spyglass from the one safe vantage point he'd found between all the patrols and guards' portals.
Thanos. He's here.
Come on, what are you waiting for? He muttered. Katie and Flick were completely alone. Flick even had his back turned as they were walking up the hill, but Katie didn't so much as lunge for him. The two reached the top and disappeared into the dark within. Oh no! The grasshopper lowered his spyglass and shook his head. He took to the air just in time before the next patrol passed his way. The boss ain't gonna like this. Chippendale half belts as he scrapped
Supposed
grasshopper.
to be half bent. Damn it.
Okay.
Fair enough.
As he scraped grasshopper innards from the bottom of his shoe, checking to see if it was clean. I knew it! I knew it! Chikira shrieked nearby. I told you we should have struck the minute the pit collapsed and their defenses were compromised. I told you! Can it, woman? Chippendale barked. My stupid idiot teenage son. She rubbed at her temples. Who knew he'd grow up to be such a wimp? Where did I go wrong? Relax, would you? He lumbered to the mouth of the burrow, looking out over the pre-dawn meadows and sparse trees, glittering gray in the faint light. We've still got an ace up our sleeves. I think it's time I called in some distant relations of mine for a favor. As Chippendale exited the burrow, Chikira looked back over her shoulder. That other human Chippendale had kidnapped, Kieran, was awake again, staring right at them. She repressed a shiver. The human didn't speak much and didn't struggle against his bonds, but there was something in his eyes whenever he watched and listened to their conversations, especially recently. He wasn't obedient because they intimidated him. While his face was passive, cold fury rested in his eyes. It was more like he was observing. Waiting.
Okay, so one of my favorite tropes is, of course, you have a hero side and a villain side, and the villain side kidnaps someone, not necessarily from the hero side, but just like a random civilian or a random character, maybe associated with them, you know, like a friend or something like that. And then, like, halfway through the kidnapping or the hostage situation, the person they kidnapped is, like, actually revealed to be possessed by a much more powerful, much more evil fucking force.
I can't fucking believe you. Can't believe you just said that right now.
I'm
Oh
guessing.
my God.
Spoil it?
Because I'm guessing it's exactly what's about to happen, and I'm actually kind of thrilled.
Also, here you go, Raymond.
A fine addition to my collection.
God damn. No!
That's beautiful.
Oh my.
Oh, you
Once again, this motherfucker don't miss.
How could you have done this?
Lightning. Try to miss challenge. Difficulty impossible.
You're missing a few other people, but all right.
Oh my god, man.
That's beautiful. So beautiful. All right.
I'm gonna send this to my brother with zero context.
Oh god.
For no other
It's gonna
reason
go-
than I want him to be confused.
Yes.
And also, you know,
feel what I feel.
You can send any meme that Lightning has made from any time that we've done Bad Fanfiction Night just out of context, and it will still be the best.
It will, yes.
Also, Mupa, look, we're already about an hour in, so I just want to get like a gauge and like where would be the next best place to
This
stop.
would actually be a really good stopping point because the next chapter is about to start off a whole new arc. So if we stop right now, that would be a really good stopping
Okay, and
point
we're
for
about
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. That was I can't believe I guessed a plot point because I just have a thing that I really like, and I was like, this reminds me of that trope I like.
It's so hyper specific of a trope, and I can't believe you nailed it.
We know each other so well.
My man woke up and decided to be a prophet. At least I'm not
I'm
evil
not saying I
here.
don't give a shit about spoilers.
Sky Slasher says Death Battle lives. They're going indie and are just doing a Kickstarter for new episodes starting July 30th. Hope you can show your support.
That was the thing he wanted to
Yeah,
advertise.
that was the thing he was advertising.
Okay.
Which, you know
Good for
what?
them.
That's good for them. Good on them. I'm not gonna contribute. I never like Death Battle. Never really did it for me. If I'm being completely honest.
I never cared about Death Battle either.
And then they popped out Yang and Tifa, and it was just like, okay, you've got no credibility.
Yang and Tifa, Gara versus Toph.
I never, no, Yang
I
and
never
Tifa.
even saw that one.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
Yang and
I-
Tifa was like the first one that like was really clear cut. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys were just
You guys are taking money from Rooster Teeth, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah,
That
now
was
I'm
the
taking money from
only
Patreon or whatever, Kickstarter. So, like, are they going to just be even more of a blatant popularity contest now?
That's a good question. I
They're
don't
fan
know.
funded.
My God,
I
will
mean, they've
Superman
already doubled
actually
down
beat
on-
Goku again?
What is
Haven't
this,
they
like
done
the
like four
third time?
times?
Yeah.
They've done that like
Yeah.
4 times. Have they just
They've done it
swapped back
three.
and forth each time?
Oh my god.
No, they've done it 3. So it's one every
It's
time.
not a back and forth. Superman beats Goku's ass every time.
Oh, really?
And apparently
Yeah.
apparently in this one, he beats him throughout time. So
They don't understand. They'd be best friends.
They would be.
Yeah, 'cause I always
Yeah.
like EFAP was actually really, they had a fun thing where they did their own Death Battle series where they actually had I think a very thorough like layout of how all the different fights would go. And they eventually got up to where like Goku was involved and he just started breaking everything because everyone said, no, you don't understand. He literally, there's a person that moved like faster than time and he literally just beat them because he was able to fight real good.
Yeah, an assassin
Oh,
named
he-
Hit from Universe 6. He was the best fighter in that universe, and he has an entire thing where he just like stores up time and uses it to teleport.
But did
And
he
he
go
did
up
still
against Bugs Bunny though?
Sky Flasher says just putting the idea in people's heads is enough. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is it a fucking dodgeball?
My man is ready to fucking.
Oh, it's the
Ultimate
gift of
motherfucker.
prophecy. Don't you know? The dodgeball represents the gift of prophecy.
Of course.
But-
Raymond doesn't know his Greek mythology.
No,
I gotta go get
I'm
the-
not familiar with the ye old Greek dodgeball.
Hang on, I'll get it for you. I'll get it.
I was actually just reading up and refreshing myself on Cassandra just a couple of hours ago, actually. So it's really funny.
There you go. Here's the proper meme. I got you with the proper meme.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
original,
exactly it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh. God damn. I'm sorry I spoiled that plot point. That's
It's
hilarious
okay.
that I did.
Are we still going?
I'm convinced that the strength of the story and its impeccable writing will carry it through, even if people do.
Oh
know
yeah, no,
certain
I'm
plot
loving this. I am loving this so much. Is-
Are we still going?
It's
No, we're
actually
winding down.
fun.
We're
we
winding
stopped
down.
for
Hit Jeremy.
Yeah, we're stopping.
Okay, good, because I was starting to get fucking brain rot.
Well, no, that's every time we're in here though.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised that you haven't completely rotted through already.
We
I
need
mean,
to
I mean,
leave
let's be
the
clear.
weak ones out.
I'm still surprised Izanagi is still alive somehow. Like after
Oh.
all the bad fan fiction nights he's been through.
twice he hasn't actually punted someone.
Well,
He
he hasn't been coming in lately, and that's on our
Yeah.
request.
Oh yeah, true. But I'm surprised he's alive in general afterwards. That's just what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raymond doesn't know about Dodgeness Balius and the ancient Greek god of spoilers and probe awareness. Can we make that a thing? Just like populate the entire internet with Dodges Balius.
Why the hell not?
Diogenes Balius, by the way.
Diogenes. Okay, you're right. Diogenes
New
Balius.
Greek god has been confirmed.
I mean, Raymond, you could do that. You have a YouTube channel. Just make it a thing.
No,
Just
no.
start spreading misinformation.
I was gonna say you can't just spread something like that. You can't just do it like through the channel. It has to be grassroots. So it has to be on everyone in here and everyone that's watching at home to spread Diogenes Balius. Like you have to be the one, but you also can't force it. You can't be like, you can't just like throw it in randomly. It has to be appropriate. But slowly over time, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Are you asking me to spread misinformation on the internet?
Yes.
Yes.
I've only ever asked you to spread misinformation on the internet. Why would you ever
That's what the
think
government
that
does.
I am an honest, upstanding person?
Well, you guys
Finally.
never heard of the Broom Post Supernet Challenge?
Yeah, of course I have.
Everyone's heard of that. Broom post.
Nope, not me.
I haven't.
Also, I can tell someone in the chat isn't actually my fan because they don't realize that I'm made of stronger stuff than just breaking after reading bad fanfic for only 1 year, which it hasn't been 1 year. It's been like 2.5.
Yeah, we've been at this for a while.
Probably spent a whole year on the fucking Ables.
No.
Yes.
We spent about 5 to 6 months, almost half a year. I don't
Yeah.
think we quite hit.
Jesus, it's been that long.
Oh,
We
dude,
took longer
the Ables
because we-
was alarmingly long. I do not know where the length of that came from. We have read, and no, I'm not changing my phrasing.
We kept getting distracted.
excuse me?
We watched. What? Real life kept getting in the way. We watched like The Moon is a Harsh Rebel or whatever the hell that was.
Oh, yeah. By the way, good news for everyone. Rebel Moon, that might be a week off or so. Rebel Moon director cut coming out soon, so we'll be watching that again. It's gonna be great.
Why?
It was already 2 parts.
And both of them are getting
Why would
director's
you
cuts. It's
suggest
going to be
that?
6 hours long, Fat Man.
Hell yeah.
I am so happy. That made my day. Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
Have you seen?
Seriously?
You guys have not seen the trailers?
Oh my
It's
God.
fucking wild how different they look. It is insane.
No, I have not.
I
Why would I,
regret sending that in
why would I
here.
spoil myself to greatness?
But yeah, no, I honestly, I don't know where we're going to watch it. I might just watch it. Like, I might recommend we all just watch it on our own time.
You can always just throw up timestamps, and let the audience find their own copy.
Well, yeah, the reason I say that though is it's a 3-hour dedication. Not everyone has that, and I kind of want to
that's
knock it
fair.
out in one night.
Hey, Raymond, please read this.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I gotta move some things around. The Tropai, the wise men of fanfiction. The first brother holding the dodgeball of prophecy, the second brother holding the tome of TV tropes, and the third brother holding the liberation of absinthe. The libation of
Libation,
absinthe.
my god.
Oh my god.
That's
Okay,
really good.
that was a sentence.
You find that
Beautiful.
picture.
This man. This is the modern day equivalent of the monkey of like, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah, no, if I want to watch Insanity for 3.5 hours, I watched that In Praise of Shadows video. But
Cool.
at the end of the year, are we ever going to do like a bad fanfiction Razzie award ceremony or something?
Oh, that's a fun idea, but every category is going to be won by Abel's.
Yeah. The Able sweep. The Able sweep.
I was gonna say Abel's sweet just because it's a legitimately published book that is apparently very popular, quote unquote. Honestly, I would argue artificially popular because a popular YouTuber.
And I mean, even then, it doesn't really get around or sell like hotcakes. I'm willing to bet.
Right.
Yeah,
Isn't that just the same thing as what happens in the normal Academy Awards? If you have you can win Best Animated Picture as long as you have Disney or Pixar in the name of your movie.
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys,
Okay,
you
all
didn't
right.
do like
Zack
a-
Snyder, you know what you need to do. You need to submit Rebel Moon Part 1 or Part 2 for Best Animated Film.
Oh God, no!
Best
No.
animated. Hold up.
Wait, okay, wait. Do you think that people actually act that bad intentionally? No, that's all
Yes.
CGI. We've all been tricked. We've all been had. That's all CGI. I refuse to believe those are real people.
This was a
I don't know. It
hallucination?
just seems like you're coping.
Could. Well, no.
Anyway,
Open
let's
Steve.
let us wind it down. Thank you all so much for
Yeah.
joining us. I hope you all had a wonderful time. This was a real blast. I love this. Moopa, you have brought us a gem.
I'm so happy.
All right, remember, if you guys want to be in on Bad Fanfiction Night, you can always donate $1 or more to my Patreon, where you get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server, the Tundra, where I, Fatman Following, Dashi Lee, Tom, and now I guess adding to that list, Twilight Guardian, are regularly active, and we like to interact with you, our fans. But yeah, if you're interested in that, please join up. And then I guess nothing else to really say. Join us in for the next one next week, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Ciao, Beto.
Hasta la vista.
You know what I realized? Alpha wasn't here to plug the Patreon